people, LosingDrea here, and I'm coming to you guys with another video, and this is for July 19th, 2020, and it is the July 2020 20 ingredient or less challenge. I'm not even doing like talking about the whole carnivore intermittent fast challenge because that went out the window a long time ago. I mean, I'm still carnivore, I'm still eating my meat, but I have been cheating on a couple of things here and there, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But if you didn't already see the previews of the video or I don't talk during that, then you want to listen to what's going on, this is where you want to be. I have this little frame that I made that's just easy for me to write in, and it's very easy to wipe off, by the way. So if you don't have a dry erase board, but you want something that's easy and capable of being clean, you can get yourself a frame. This is an 11 by 17, I think, or 11 by 14 frame, and I actually picked it up for like $2.50 in the clearance section of my Walmart. You can get a pack of dry erase markers, $5-6, maybe less. You don't have to buy, 9 of them or whatever I have here, but you can get like just a regular black one. You could also pick one up in the dollar store, and it comes with a marker usually, but I had this one that I was using, and it's lightweight. I think I might have got it at Walmart also. It was probably like $6 or $7. The little plastic thing on the top broke that holds the marker in place. So, but there is a little magnet on the end of it, so it can stick to dry your magnetic boards, like the one behind me here. However, I am messing with it when it comes to this. So this is just basically day by day what I eat. I write it down on a pad as well. I'm a little extra, I know. But this is for July 19th, for Sunday. I went to bed at 11:45 in the morning. I woke up at 8:10 p.m. and I got 8 hours and 25 minutes of some very good sleep, by the way. I might have woke up to go pee maybe once. My weight on the scale was 225.2, which is the same it's been for 3 days in a row now. And I broke my fast at 12 o'clock in the morning. And the day before, I had broke my fast at 5:15 in the evening. However, because I was up so many hours until the next day, I actually ended up eating again. So I ate again at 6 in the morning. So I still had an 18-hour fast in between. And I just had sirloin steak and my keto sweet iced tea that I make. And that all together, I had 2 of those teas, so that's 5 points each for a total of 10 points for the day, which isn't really bad. I'm glad that I finished out the day with only 10 points. However many calories and all that, I'm not going to say. I had another binge last night. Ended up in the kitchen and just like eating and eating and eating. But again, nothing happened on the scale. I mean, I am keeping it keto. I'm keeping it carnivore. I'm just eating meat. Whatever meat that I had for dinner, I'm just going back in there and eating again. To me, I'm calling it a binge because I'm like, I could just sit in there all day and eat a whole chicken. Here it is the following day. It's actually the 20th, but I'm doing this video for you guys because I'm so behind and backed up and trying to keep everything in the moment. So I just wanted to say that here it is, 10:20 in the morning, and I have a whole chicken already cooked for later on when I wake up after I've gone to sleep later on, because I don't know. I was listening to a podcast, or that was a vlog, I think, with Dr. Ken Berry, and he was interviewing Kelly Hogan, and they were talking about, like if you don't feel tired, you don't have to go to sleep. If you're not thirsty, you don't have to drink water, and, just eat when you're hungry and stop when you finish. Don't worry about this like intermittent fasting thing. As long as there's like a 16-hour window in between, you should be fine. And I think that's what's happening. But I don't want to maintain, I want to lose. So we'll talk about that again at another time also, because this month is a month for just checking the ingredients, just trying to stay under 20, just learning what is in the foods that I'm eating. And I'm so glad for this challenge. I'm so very appreciative and thankful that Melanie, Princess Ninja, and Keto decided to do this challenge, because it gave me an opportunity to learn some things that I probably wouldn't even cared to look at before, because I could tell you even right after this, I'm probably not going to care again. I mean, I'm going to miss my mayo, or if I want some ranch dressing, and I don't want to be confined to ingredients if I'm eating them and they're not hurting me and I'm not having the allergic reactions and all the other issues that I'm having. I will say one thing though. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but I have extremely dry skin, and it could be one of two things. It could be that I'm eating too much dairy, because I noticed it now after I started reintroducing cheese and eating cheese, because I didn't do any of that last month. And then during this challenge, there was a couple of days, well, in the very beginning I didn't, but then a couple of days where I did, and I had cheese sticks where I wrapped the cold cuts around them. And then I started noticing this flare up of this like dry, patchy, flake, scaly kind of skin stuff that I have going on all over the place. And it's crazy. You know, you get out of the shower and you lather yourself up with coconut oil, and yet you still have dry skin. It could also be that I'm not getting enough fat, but I am getting enough, they're called PUFAs, because there is a lot of that in chicken, a lot more in chicken and even fish than there is in red meat, and it's fatty acids and things like that that are essential to your diet. And apparently eating chicken, no matter what, store-bought chicken, that's perfect. I don't have to go out of my way and go buy these crazy high dollar chickens that are, grass-fed, finished, blah, blah, blah. I can just sustain my hunger, eat that, and be fine and still have good results. I just need to stick with it. I do have some medical issues in that, as a woman of my age, depending on my height, my weight, I will definitely say that I'll have to tweak things along the way. I have to find what works for me and what doesn't, but I need to stick to it if I'm going to do it. And I do cheat an awful lot. And it's because I have two other people living in the house with me, and I either use them as excuses for why I would bring something in the house and say it's for them, knowing that it's a trigger for me. If it's here, I get into it. Or it'll be something like, I have it in the house for them, and I still get into it. So anyways, I just wanted to go over that. I also want you guys to pray for Melanie, Princess Ninja, and Kita and her family. She's having a personal family issue that is something she doesn't want to discuss in detail. So I'm respecting that from her as well. But if you pray or whatever it is you do, light candles, however, whatever you believe in, please, by all means, put Melanie and her family in your prayers right now. Whoever it is you pray to, I'm sure, will know what it's about and will address the issue accordingly. Definitely want to pray for strength right now amongst anything else. And I'll say no more about that. The other thing is, if you are in the July 2020 20 ingredient or less group for this month for the challenge with Princess Ninja and Keto, and you have any issues, I am an administrator, moderator, whatever of the group, and I do sleep during the day, but I will get to you as soon as I possibly can, especially if you tag my name into whatever the post is, and this way I'll be able to be notified that you sent that message, and I can try to address it a lot sooner. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you? I made a comment in the last keto video Princess Ninja and Keto did, and there was this Just Jess person who said something really rude. She mentioned that she used Goya seasoning in this dish she was making, and the person turned it into this political thing about you're a Trump supporter if you have Goya spices in your house. This just happens. So even if not taking a Trump all the Aunt Jemima, don't care for the Goya guy who made some all this in stuff regards to the support, just throwing away money just because it Trump represents something because somebody says it. I wouldn't have enough. I could let anything in the world bother me. Money in my pocket just to throw away my Goya seasoning just because some jerk off who owns the company had something to say suddenly. Now, y'all saw me wearing a jacket when I was cooking the steak. It is cold in my house. It could be me. I do have issues with body temperature. I'm either way too hot and then sweaty, or I'm way too cold. And I go through this a lot all day long. The fan, I'll put it on. A couple seconds later, I'm too cold. I'll take it off. A little while later, I'm too cold. So, yeah, I was wearing my camouflage jacket back here behind me. Other thing, when you saw me put the steak in the broiler. I said, put it up under the broiler. Well, the broiler should be the top, the very top. Got to be careful on mine. I know I've started near fires, flames have come up, smoke comes out. I always hit the little vent thing that's up on the top of the oven. I'll turn that thing on. It can get really smoky in my house. I've had to like turn on the ceiling fans, open the back patio door. It's been crazy, but hey, it's the risk I take to make a really good steak under the broiler. I love it where it's that nice sear on it, kind of like I put it in the grill, and I don't get that. And this is what happened when I said in the video that I'll explain in a little bit, because if you saw, I was like not too happy with the steak. It was a little overcooked. Well, early on, I was so busy with doing this video for you guys and putting that part into the video that while I was filming it, I didn't even think about putting it up on that rack. I put it in the middle rack. And it didn't dawn on me until that first 5 minutes was up and the bell rang and I went to go take it out to flip it, and it was in the middle. So it didn't really cook like it should have in that first 5 minutes. So I put it back up at the top and I said it should be okay. And I put it in for an additional, I think it was additional 3 or no, I did put it in for an additional 5 minutes. Anyways, I probably shouldn't have. I don't know. That kind of screwed up the whole process right then there. So when you see that in the video, just know, don't do as I did, do as I say, and put it on the very top as closest to the broiler, to the heater elements for the broiler, as you possibly can. And for that thickness of a steak, I do 5 minutes on each side, and it's like usually like juicy and red and just delicious. Another thing, people do suggest that you let your steak sit for about 10 minutes before you eat it because it helps the juices. I don't bother with that. I'm too hungry. By the time I get that thing out of the oven and I sit down and I eat it, trust me, probably a good 5 or so many minutes have passed because it's the most delicious, most juiciest steak I've ever eaten, and I've never had a problem with it, and that's how I always cook it. So there you have it on that. But I wasn't paying attention, so like I said, first time I put it in the middle, and that kind of screwed it up. It wasn't extremely bad, but it was a little bit more well done than I cared to eat. It's kind of like eggs. They got to be a certain way because if they're too well done, I can't eat them. I mentioned it in the last video about Harry the Head. I'll put a little card up here and you could click on a music video that I'm going to link to. It has nothing to do with the Harry the Head that I was actually speaking of. Now, when I was talking about Harry the Head, a long time ago I had heard a story about Harry the Head. And it's one of those stories that has, like, the motto of the story is, you know, at the end. So I said to the Wicked Angel, she posts every one of my videos. She's my biggest cheerleader, my biggest fan. I met her from another wonderful, wonderful YouTuber that I enjoy watching mukbangs from quite a while ago now. And we were all following the same people and whatnot. And hold on one second. I really don't want to have to redo this video, but I tell you what, guys, I just hear like a voice in the background while I'm talking to you. And somehow or another I had a video playing with the governor of New York, Cuomo, going on in the background. I hope it's just the latter part and not all through the video because I've already done like 18 plus minutes of talking to you guys. And I don't want to have to redo this video at this time of the morning because this has to get up and out to you guys. And it's going to have to first, after I finish editing it, has to process it so that it's in the format it needs to be so I could then upload it to YouTube so you guys can see it. I'm telling you, it's crazy, 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 crazy. Anyway, so I started to tell you about the story, the true story, the story that I intended when I said if you understood what Harry the Head was. And maybe it was just something that I heard as a kid. I can tell you that link to that song by The Residents. Yeah, The Residents is not at all what I was talking about. I didn't even know that song existed. But like I said to Wicked Angel, I said, well, it could be the funeral song for the Harry the Head that I'm thinking of. So anyways, so here's the story of Harry the Head as I heard it. So I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. There was this little boy, he was just a head, and his name was Harry. And every day his mom would wake him up from bed and take him, you know, by his head and place him by the window in his bedroom, and he would be able to look out across the street, and there was a park, and he could see all these kids playing in the park. And he told his mom later on that day, he was watching all the kids playing in the park, and he's like, Mom, I wish that I could play like the other kids out in the park. And the mom said, well, maybe if you wish real hard, Harry, you might grow some arms or some legs, or you can make it out there and play with the kids in the park. And he says, okay, Mom. And so he went to wishing that he had arms, and he went to sleep that night, and the next morning he woke up and he had arms, just like grew up out of his ears. And he went running with his new arms now down the stairs and yelling, Mom, 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 I got the new arms I wished for. And he opens the door and he starts to go running out the house, and he goes running across the street to the park. And the kids are like, yeah, but you can't run around and catch the ball with us at the same time. So he realized, well, he needed arms and legs for that. So he got upset, and he ran back with his new arms back home, and he got upset and went back upstairs. And, his mom said, what's wrong, Harry? And he said, well, I had my new arms, and I was able to run on them, and I ran outside. I wanted to go play with the kids, but they can't play with me because I don't have legs and arms. I only have arms, and I can't be standing and running around on the arms and use them. So I guess I can't play with the kids. And Mom said, well, Harry, you prayed for arms. Why don't you go upstairs and pray for legs? Might work. It worked for your arms. So Harry goes running back upstairs on his new arms, and that night he prayed for some new legs too to go along with them new arms, and he went to sleep, and the next morning he woke up, and lo and behold, he had arms and legs. He goes trucking outside, and he's running so fast, he's so excited, he's just going to run right straight out the house and across the street to go to the park to play with the kids, and a car comes by and hits Harry. Sad. Real sad. You know what the moral of the story is? Quit while you're ahead. So that's the story. And I'm sorry that it was so painful and long to get through it, just to tell it to you guys. But that's all I have for you for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so below. Hit the little bell icon because it will notify you every time I put out a new video, and or I might have the capabilities with respects to Wi-Fi in order to do a live for y'all. And yeah, with that said, be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, but just be you, be the boss of your loss if you're on a weight loss journey. And I'll definitely be seeing each and every one of you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. Be blessed. Mwah.